there we go. And again, another piece of our tape. And there we go. Now we can take our meter quick. See if you can see this here, and clip our leads onto our coil. And we've got 4.4 ohms, 4.4K ohms. So that's right where we want it to be. I'm going to write that on the bottom of my coil. 4.40. Now I'm just going to take some more of this narrow wire and I'm going to just put some wraps around the coil just to hold everything together. And there we go. There we have our pair of coils, and those are ready to wire together on our base plate. So next we'll take our base plate and this is our braided wire, and we'll just run that through the hole on our base plate. Sometimes they catch a little. Okay, and now this wire you don't have to cut. You just push this braided end back. Then I take a clip, a little clip I have here, and I'm just going to clip this in place so I can solder it. And this outside braid of the wire solders directly onto our base plate. Hopefully I'm where you can see me, see what I'm doing. Just going to give that some heat. And put some solder into it. Now this does take a little bit hotter soldering iron than you're maybe used to. Soldering onto this big base plate, or when we put the cover on. Those things can take a little more heat. So you can see nice clean solder joint, and our wires out of the way. So now we can start putting our coils together on here. So we'll take our spacer for our screw coil, and just goes on like this. It just sets on. Put a screw through it. And just screws right into the bobbin. Before we're tightened down all the way, we'll get our other screw lined up here and get that started. And again, not all the way tightened down. Now we'll take our other coil and get it started. Now this coil just sits right on the pull pieces, so there's no spacer under there yet. And again, just getting the screws started. Now we'll take our wooden spacer. This is just a piece of maple, and that slides in between there. And then we'll take our magnet. And now first we have to figure out which is positive and negative on our north and south on our magnet. So we want our screw pull piece, our screw side, to be north to match our other pickup we made. And we can put our magnet in there, take our magnet tester. Okay, so our slug side is south, screw side is north. Good to go. Everything's lined up right. And we can tighten down our screws a little bit. You don't want to over tighten these. You can strip out, it's just plastic bobbins. You can strip those, and you don't want to do that. Alright, now to wire the rest of our pickup together. So we've got our 4 wires coming out of our coils. Our first wire here coming out of the screw coil, our black wire, is just going to get soldered straight to the base plate, and that is our ground. Just put that where I want it there. And okay, get our soldering iron. Okay. Notice I use that knife just to hold the wire in place while the solder's set. Our 2 white wires, which are the finishes of the coils, those will get soldered together over here. One of my wires got a little short, so I don't have a ton of slack here. Okay. So we're just putting these 2 wires together. And there we go. So now we'll solder those. Okay. And Now our last wire, and again this this braided wire, it just pushes back. You don't have to cut the insulation. Okay. And solder those together. Now we should be able to push our wire back. Push our wire back. Take our meter and just clip on. And 8.38, right? It's right where I wanted it to be. Perfect. So now we'll again take some of this this skinny tape. There it is. And we're just going to tape these exposed lead wires over so they're nice and out of the way. Okay. All right, now we're going to take our wire tape and just going to do to hold all of these wires in together. Just do like a half a loop around there. And cut that off. So now we have our cover. The pickup just sits inside the cover. We want to make sure it sits nice and straight in there. And again, this part you may want a little bit hotter soldering iron than you would use for other stuff. We're gonna solder the cover on. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Just put a little heat right there in that corner. Okay. And there we have it. Our last step will be to put our screw pull pieces in. And this is pretty warm from soldering the cover on. And I use a drill. Get them started, and I don't go all the way because this will scratch up your cover if you hit it. But it's much. This is much quicker than doing them all the way by hand. Our next step after this will be potting pickups. These pickups, though, being a good PAF Replica set, we're going to leave these unpotted. But I do have another set of pickups ready that I'll show you that process on, so you'll know how to do that. Alright, all I have left to do on this pickup then is to just screw these pull pieces down in all the way, and then I'll get everything set up to do our potting, and I'll show you that process. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes here.